So good afternoon or good morning, dear participants and those who are watching us live on Facebook. Today, we continue our inter-lectures projects of online open lectures on topical issues in economics and management. And we have with us Professor Dr. Alberto Ferraris, who is a researcher at our Laboratory for International and Regional Economics, and also senior researcher at the Department of Management of the University of Turin. So Dr. Ferraris, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you very much for the invitation. I remember last year that I made a similar speech at the Yeltsin Center. So this year is a little bit different, but I tried to develop some knowledge about digital transformation. It is one of my topic of research. In particular, today I would like to start from what we know about digital transformation, because as you know, digital transformation is generating a huge debate among policymakers, among economists and industry leaders, but also among academics and people in general. In fact, when I used to talk about this topic, the funny thing is that I can talk about this particular topic with anyone. So there is a huge debate across all the world at different levels, of course. But what we know is that digitalization is disrupting, is changing dramatically our society. And there are also some concern that is growing about digitalization and about how it affects some issues such as jobs, wages, such as inequality, or in this particular pandemic era, how digitalization affects health, or how organization and people manage efficiency, resources, and the security. So the topics are very, very wide, and we can start by arguing that one thing that we are sure about it is this, represented is in this figure. It is that compared to other transformations that face the humanity, there are an evident change in the speed of this transformation. So what we can see from this figure is that compared to like mainframe or other technologies that have been invented and developed in the past, as you can see, the speed of change of the latest technologies, in particular today in 2020, we are here where there is a huge growth of cloud, of mobile technologies, of big data and analytics, and of Internet of Things and smart machines. But the pace of change, the fast, is higher than in the past, as you can see from the mainframe or Web 1.0. And this is evident, and this is one of the key pillars of digital transformations. Everybody agree on that. Okay, so in order to fully understand what we are living, we need to understand that these digital technologies are accelerating the speed of change as never happened in the past. So this is one crucial point. Then we could try to understand how digital transformation make a positive impact and contribution on the society. In particularly among policymakers and economists, this is a huge debate about that, but also in the industry, so in companies, a lot of managers are starting to talk about also the positive effect that companies, that the digital transformation in companies make on the society. So today, because I'm a researcher that is focused more on companies or on business management. So today, what we are seeing is the growth of interest also of managers in delivering what we call win-win situation. So an improvement of quality of society through the digital technologies applied to companies, and of course, from the mere and side of the company is to improve the economic and financial results of the company. So these are, in my opinion, three key areas in which more or less all the people that talk about digital transformation agree. So the first one is the effect on employment and skills. There are a lot of reports about that, a lot of reports of the World Economic Forum, of consultancy companies, but we have data that we should read carefully. For example, this estimation that I put into the slide, the global job losses due to digitalization, so only related to digitalization, range from 2 million to 2 billion by 2030. So in 10 years, we will see global job losses ranging from million to billion of jobs that will be cutted or will disappear thanks to digital transformation or digital technologies. So here I would like to show you, I don't know if I can, okay, share the screen with you. And I would like to show you this. These are an outlook of the World Economic Forum of the kind of jobs that will decline and will grow in the next years. This is a report updated to today trend, but the trend is continuing to be the same. So as you can see, there will be some jobs that will disappear. So that lose the race against the machine, because here we are talking about humans and machines that in the future will have to collaborate, but for sure there will be some jobs that will lose this race against the machine. So for example, clerks and administrative staff, or for example, truck driver, or some jobs that could be automated in the construction and extraction industry, where Russia is very, very strong, or in the manufacturing and production, will be substituted by digital technologies. And this will be, I mean, we can accept or not, but technologies will replace some of these jobs. On the other hand, there are some jobs that will grow a lot, like business and financial operations, like, and this is a good news for us at the Graduate School of Economics and Management, jobs related to management and to manage resources and to manage people, for examples, are growing and will grow a lot into the futures. Like for, of course, computer and mathematical skills and jobs related to these skills, architectures, engineering, sales, and so on. So there will be jobs that will disappear. There will be some jobs that will carried out in collaboration with machines or algorithms. For example, those professions that rely on cognitive and social capabilities, such as doctors and surgeons. We are looking for new ways to deliver this service, like telemedicines. And for sure, these jobs will increase in the futures. And of course, there are also some jobs that are completely new. For example, roles in the creative arts are unlikely to be automated. So the question is, does my job will be automated easy? If it is yes, the answer, probably in the next 2 or 3 years, we will see a substitution of this job from the role of the human to the role of the machines. So also new roles in managing data and in interpreting data that are growing so fast, the huge amount of data that now it is possible to manage. It is called big data. Also the role of people in managing and interpreting and take a decision based on this data will be very, very important. So clearly there will be in this challenge, in this digital transformation, there will be some winners and losers for sure, as all digital transformation that happened into the past. So this is the first key areas in which more or less all the people that I talked about in the last years agree. They agree that for sure also the government should find a way to regulate the impact of this digital transformation on wages and working conditions. Because the one huge problem could be the improvement, the augmenting of differences between the rich and the poor. And this is the role of the governments, should very, very critical for the next years, even more than in the past. Then the second key areas that is related to what we call grand challenges, like all the challenges of the humanity related to the environmental sustainability. So as you can see from the slide, the current business practice will contribute to a global gap of 8 billion tons between the supply and demand of natural resources in 10 years. This means that 4.5 trillion of lost economic growth by 2030. So with this regard, digital transformation should be directed in what we call win-win-win situation. So a good outcome for the organization, for the company, a good outcome for the society, and a good outcome for the people and the environment in general. So the third key areas is trust. So we agree that with social media, radio frequency identification tags, user-generated websites such as TripAdvisor, that has been instrumental in increasing transparency and overcoming information asymmetries between companies and the people, between the government and the people. So all these digital technologies help in improving the transparencies and the information asymmetries. So this could be a good point in favor of digital transformation in reducing, for example, inequalities or the differences between rich and poor and so on. However, on the other hand, trust in all technology-based sectors declined in 2015 for the first time, and in the subsequent year. So it means that there are an improvement in transparency and in reducing these asymmetries between parties, but at the same time, there is a huge concern about people, about data privacy and security. For example, here in Italy, for fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, the government, with the pool of experts, develop an app to trace the people and to try to avoid that the virus spread. But at the present time, I think that 10 to 12% of the overall population downloaded this app. And this is related to many aspects, but the main important is trust. So at the same time that there are also broader ethical questions about the way that organization and companies use digital technologies, use data. I don't know if you know, but there are in big companies that there are growing and that are growing a lot departments that are focused only on data management. So there are entire department, a lot of people within the companies that deal with the management of data. So all that it concerns to the analysis of data, all that concerns the privacy and the securities related to data, and so on. So this aspect is very central in the digital transformation period that we are living. So in order to be not so bored, I would like to pose you these questions. So when I used to make these kind of lectures, I usually ask to my students, what is digital transformation for you? And the answers are very different and very wide. I would like to pose this question to you, but before that, I would like to show you a short video that maybe inspire you a bit. So maybe Lena or someone else, let me know if you can hear also the video, okay?
Yes, there's sound.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it?
So I would like to stop just for 1 minute. This is the questions. And this is related also to my presentation that will be directed more to how companies manage digital transformation. But as you can see from this video, but from the ongoing debate, the role of people is still fundamental. The question is, are you being driven by the changes, or do you want to drive the change? This is valid not only for companies, this is valid also at the single individual level of people. And this is very evident from real examples. I'm sure that you have friends that when the COVID-19 changed completely our life, we call it the new normal, you have for sure some friends that are scared from the changes. So because when the human behavior is going to change, is always a problem. For some people, it's more a problem than others. So I have colleagues it not depending on the age. I mean, there are some kind of correlation, but it's the kind of approach and behavior that people have to change, the propensity to change. I have people like a professor like me that when they have been asked to make a different kind of lecture, to deliver a different kind of lecture, their first reaction was, no, I cannot do this. I don't want to change. I always do the lecture in the same way. I don't want to change now. But also there are other professors and other people that are, I mean, their behavior is very, very different. Okay, so how can we do to make the same kind of delivery with the digital tools? So how can we engage the students as we engage into the past when we were physically in the room? So all this approach to change is one, in my opinion, in my view, is one of the key success factor of the futures. Young people like you have different behavior from people from the other generations, but I'm pretty sure that also within your generation, there are people that are more scared from change than others. And we are living, as I showed you before, we are living in a world where new technologies are accelerating so much the speed of change. What does it mean? It means that people have to change fast than ever. Okay, so be ready because you will be the actors that will play a critical role in this kind of very, very quick and fast change world that we are living, but in the future will be even more. I have a course in Italy of strategic human resource management, and I used to invite HR, human resource manager, to my lectures. And 90% of them emphasize that when they are looking to hire a new person, they are looking for this kind of what we call soft skills, like problem solving, to run a project with responsibilities, to coordinate other people and so on. But one of the key factors within soft skills is how the person approach a situation that is unknown. And this is the key problem that you will face when you will work into the company for the next decades. So this is important to understand. So the things that we know from the past, they are important for sure, but they are rediscussed in the light of this digital technology. So sometimes experience is also very important, usually it's very important, but in some way experience that is a mental process that anchor your decision to what happened into the past, so your previous experience in the past, sometimes could be also not so good, because as you know, when you have to face the uncertainty, some situation that is new, yes, experience could be of some help, but could also bound your approach to solve the new problem in a new way. It is a kind of experimentation that companies are doing. They are facing something that is completely new, with new approaches to innovation, like trial and errors, like growth hacking, like experimentation, like to involve startups and young people in the decision-making process. So this is what we called a VUCA world. So then I will finish with the video. But in our society, and you will see from the video, it's inevitable to coexist with machine. So we will coexist with machine for sure. Our lives will be a continuous intermediation between humans and machine. It is, if you can think, also today, we always have this kind of smartphone with us. And this is an intermediary between, human and what the machine could offer. So what the digital technologies could offer. But of course, this could result in both fears and opportunities. Here, the different behaviors of people, when I ask what is digital transformation in my class, I have some people that are enthusiastic because they mainly positively evaluated the advantages of these digital technologies. But I have also some people, maybe 25, 30%, that weight more the fears and the negative outcomes that are present in digital technologies. My suggestion is that we have to understand how our world will change and how we can use that change for us. So it means to take the positive aspects of digital technologies without being too much addicted to them and without being too much dependent of them. I have some friends that work in the psychologist field that will benefit a lot from, unfortunately, from this digital transformation, because that the mind and the psyche will be affected a lot by addiction and this kind of negative effect of digital transformation, unfortunately. But we need to change, and our companies need the same. In business, we are usually talking about a VUCA word. I don't know if some of you have already, maybe the students of Gianna has already know about this word, because we talked about this a lot. In essence, the VUCA is an acronym for volatile, the V. Volatility means that organizations should incorporate some elements of agility and to reallocate resources like human, financial resource, like physical assets, to increase this kind of agility and also to increase the resilience. The U stands for uncertainty. So organization should gather beyond existing information and should analyze them from new perspectives. So here, for example, many companies are investing a lot in data analytics, that are software that make able to analyze a huge amount of data, big data, in a very fast way and also intuitive way. These are the kind of instruments, of tools that support managers in taking decisions, for example. So I don't have time to show you some more examples, but there are some living dashboards that update constantly in real time, that give some kind of information like the growth of revenues, per I don't know, cities, or for shops and so on. All this information should be taken into consideration because the world is more uncertain and will be more uncertain than in the past. The third, the C, is the complexity. Organizations adapt their internal logic to the external changes that are becoming more complex, because they are mirroring environmental complexity. So also the organizational process are changing so much in order to reflect the changes and the complexity in the external world. It means in the digital technologies, in the change of consumer behaviors, in the needs that are changing and are emerging, and so on. The last, the A of the VUCA is ambiguity. This means that organizations have to experiment to determine what strategies are the most beneficial for a new business logic. It means ambiguity. It means that there is not a relation, a cause and effect relations between an action that the companies will take that a precise outcome related to this action. So new business models, for example, tomorrow I have lectures about new business models in the food sector. I know that we have the example of Domino's Pizza that completely changed the experience of the customers in ordering a pizza, but I know that also in Russia you have something similar. But this is the changing business model. So this is the changes that presents great growth opportunities for firms, but at the same times they can erode very, very fast the competitive advantages of a company. And this is the same for the people. These digital changes will give some opportunities to you, but also some negative aspects, like, I don't know, some people maybe that work as clerks or administrative within the administrative office, unfortunately, there is a possibility that will lose their job because there will be some machine that are more efficient, fast, and have more higher performance than the human. So usually here there is a huge debate about job losses, the new skills required. I don't know if you would like to share with me some of your ideas about what is digital transformation. So in order to answer this question, I'm open to listen some of your ideas or comments about it. Maybe Miha, Razel, that I see you there in the... What do you think about digital transformation? What is digital transformation for you? Does someone have an idea? Comment? I used to make this lecture more interactive because I don't want to bore you too much. Come on, some volunteer. I would like to have at least one comment. Come on, don't be shy. It's not, there is not a wrong or correct answer. Razel, can you hear me?
He wrote in the chat.
Ah, sorry, because
maybe he can't.
Okay.
Can you see? Yeah, his answer in the chat.
Because I have the sharing screen, I don't have the chat open. So it's not a problem. I can continue by showing you this, for me at least, inspiring video.
Driven by it. Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom.
So there are some students that usually answer me that digital transformation is about technologies. Yes, this is important for sure. I mean, technologies are the engine of this digital transformation, but I would like to, wait a minute. These are some data about the job families in decline and on the rise, but as you can see from the video, there are some human jobs, human activities that will become even more important than before. So I don't know if I can find the changing. Okay, here. As you can see from this figure, here is the importance of skills such as cognitive abilities, system skills, complex problem solving, 36% demand, content skill, process, social skills, human resources management skills. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that, as you heard from the video presentation, that there will be some skills that will be more important. So the future will be that some jobs and some activities will be delegated to the machine because they are faster and more efficient with less errors than the humans in simulation and automation of some processes. On the other side, there is the opportunities that are more important on this kind of soft skills. So what is the role of people in this digital transformation, in my view, is to coexist with machines, as you can see from, have a look here, a coexist between human and machine. In 2018, it was estimated 71% and 29% of the machine. Have a look, the outlook for 2025. That is only in 5 years, 48-52. So the role of humans will be to coexist with machines and to focus their improvement in skills, in soft skills, and all the skills that I show you here. Okay, so this is what it is, in my view, the role of people in digital transformation. So starting from this point, now I would like to focus, if there are no questions, please interrupt me if there are some questions. I would like to focus the attention of this presentation on the role of companies, because the companies are what I'm studying, what I'm doing of research activities. And I would like to read the changes of companies in relation to digital transformation and to distinguish between external pressure to change like the 5 presented in this slide. The first one is the changes in consumer requests. So we are living, this is a provocation. Why do banks do not use a digital system of Netflix? But this is particularly provocatory, but this underline that the consumers are requesting more and more compared to the past. So we are moving from a standardization of a mass standardization to what we call mass customization. It means that companies should be able to develop new products that satisfy the different and heterogeneous needs that are emerging in the consumers. As you can see from Netflix, I don't know if you know the company, I think yes, but if you know which are the algorithmics and the big data management of Netflix. So Netflix invests 5 years ago, I don't remember exactly when, but billions of dollars to implement an algorithm that map all what you are doing on Netflix. Like, for example, pause in a specific moment of the TV series that you are watching, or rewatch a particular portion of the TV series, or what are your consumers' preferences on the platform, like and they are able to propose, for example, similar contents or contents that are more that are fitting more with your preferences. Now we are seeing also that in the next year, I'm pretty sure that will appear some movies that that imply an active engagement of the user, like you are watching a TV series or a movie, and you can decide how to let the video on with choices, like, for example, it interrupts at the particular specific moments the movie, and you will be able to decide to act in one way or in another way. This is what their companies are doing. Of course, it depends on the industry and on the sector, but this is the trend. So more hyper personalized services and products. Okay. The second driver that comes from external to the company is to react to competitive pressure of the markets. We are seeing that there are no more barriers because the internet made cost decreasing, but also that competitive pressures arise from markets that are not the original markets of the company. An example is the automotive industry, that here in Turin is very strong, but we are seeing that there are some software provider, like autonomous car maker and so on, that make a pressure that come from outside of the classical markets of the automotive sector. And this is another trend very important in digital transformation. It allows some digital companies and technological companies to propose their services or products in other industries. The third trend is to defend a long-term competitive position, and this is what I call that company should scan the external environment to understand which will be the digital disruption trends within their industries, and in order to defend and to defend the long-term competitive position of the companies, maybe also changing the sources of revenues even more fast than in the past. The fourth driver is the higher competition due to regulation. As you know, all these, like the autonomous car, needs a strong involvement of public body to make regulation of the new services, or, for example, data security and privacy. So the regulation forces the firms to develop also in a proper way their digital operations. And the fifth one is the end of all system life cycle. So there are some systems that are becoming very old and slow and non-flexible and will be disappear. So should be replaced by companies. What we are looking now is that the emergence of platform-based ecosystems. So there are a lot of debate about this platform-based ecosystem. It means, like, for example, iOS of Apple, and with all the partners that develop something, some new service around this or own this platform. Okay, so the also the competition will move rather than between companies, between ecosystems. So a strong ecosystem will be successful for the future. It means the co-development of relations and of new products and service among different stakeholders, like small and medium enterprise, big companies, technologies companies, public organization, resource centers, and the citizens. The citizens are an important part of ecosystem, in particular because they are the end users of some of the new services, like, I don't know, public transports. And also because they allow companies to experiment the emergence of new technologies or new products. They are there are a lot of companies, big giant tech like Siemens, but also other like IBM, that are developing this partnership with the public bodies in different cities to allow them to experiment day by day new technologies on the citizens. So this is what we call win-win situation. The situation where the citizens, for example, have for free new digital services that can use and can ease their life. The public body, for example, they have a digital upgrade of their systems like public transport given by the technology of the companies, and the companies, the big companies in particular, have the possibility to test and experiment new services and products in the what we call smart cities. Of course, firms have also internal pressures that are mainly related to two main directions. The first one is to discover something new sources for growth, because as we talked briefly before, the old sources of growth, it is possible that will be replaced very fast. So mainly this means for companies to invest in what we call differentiation from competitors that allow the business to grow. And on the other side, the efficiency and automatization in the processes allow, in the industrial processes, for example, allow to decrease the cost. So if the first driver is mainly related to revenues of companies, the second driver is mainly related to a reduction in costs. So digital transformation may be fundamental also in decreasing costs, and what we call Industry 4.0, with a lot of intervention and not a lot of money in Europe, for example, in the European Union, in Italy, from a specific government action that is directed to make the companies able to implement these new digital technologies, are mainly directed to reduce the costs. This is an example. I would like to show you an example from an industry that you are very, very strong, the oil and gas industry. So as you can see, in different activities, in different phases of the production, digital technologies can unlock significant value and can also make a huge impact on the companies in this sector. Of course, if you want to understand digital transformation, you have to apply to a specific industry, because the value that is generated by digital technologies in the oil and gas industries are quite different from the value generated in the food and beverage sector. But let's keep here on the oil and gas industry. So as you can see, machine learning, for example, can ease the interpretation of data in the exploration activities, in the upstream part of the production. It is estimated, this is an estimation from Boston Consulting Group, an important and worldwide famous consultancy company. This means that 50–60% of reduction in data interpretation time and cost. This is incredible. So you can halve your costs related to exploration thanks to machine learning. For example, in the field development, you can save, a company can save up to 70% in engineering hours reduction, and also to higher value field concept given by the implementation of digital technologies like smart and integrated modeling, like synchronized project build using digital twins and building information modeling, and so on, optimization. Okay, there are, for example, in the engineering field, we are moving from an old way of doing things that is like consequential activities during the engineering of a product. Now we are talking about simultaneous engineering. It means that thanks to digital technologies, it is possible to make these activities in a simultaneous way, or at least more or less simultaneous, real time. And this is a great advantage of digital technologies. Having a look to the drilling activities, 20–30% faster well delivery and more productive wells. So this means that you can achieve faster well delivery with closed loop automation, so with automation, and you improve the design using data analytics. Again, two of them, if you can see, automation, data analytics, machine learning, these are the main key digital technologies that are arising. Then if you come back to this slide, you can see that, for example, artificial intelligence, there is a question mark here, because we still not have a clear idea of what digital transformation, of what machine artificial intelligence will lead the society, because I don't know if you are passionate of TV series, but I remember the first time that I watched one episode of the TV series Black Mirror, that is completely oriented. I was in Russia the first time that I watched this episode, and I immediately understand what is the meaning of this TV series is to make the people reflecting on the negative outcomes of digital transformation. So artificial intelligence, there are nowadays other TV series and movies that are in some way connected to artificial intelligence, and I am very, very passionate about this, but this makes the people more caution to fully adopt these new technologies, because probably there are some ethical questions that are not addressed properly at the moment. But by the way, we are talking about all these fantastic new digital technologies, but in the real world, in day-by-day activities, we face this problem. Companies face this problem. The first one that is funny, because with this vignette, I try to report it. These are a manager of companies that are talking with colleagues, and he said, "Are you ready to meet about digital transformation?" And there is the first problem. We can't see your slide. Okay, so do you need to download the video plugin? This is restricted to Internet Explorer version 7. Okay, I try to email the slide deck, but it bounced back because there are a file limit of 1 megabyte. So you can't send an email with that is so much heavy. So we can use Dropbox or WeTransfer. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's blocked by our firewall. Google Docs? Yeah, right. I'm not sure how to present to you. Can you fax it to us? So this is funny because it means that digital transformation is not fully complete and probably will never be fully complete, but that here, as you can see, there is an important role again of people, because we are talking about all these new digital technology, but then there is also the active participation of people to make these technologies effective. And if this is not the case, the end of this vignette is, can you fax it to us? It means, can you use the old way, very old way compared to this time, to deliver the message? This is the provocation of this slide. Similarly, there are some problems in the implementation of digital transformation in our companies and also in our daily life. You can reflect on the problems that each of you have in the implementation of something new, like the vocal assistant of Google and so on. Or in the other way, there are unfortunately some companies that underestimate the complexities beyond the digital transformation. Have a look to this vignette. So your job is digital transformation. It's not about digital, it's not about disruptive technology. We need a new way of thinking. This way of thinking should permeate across all the organization. This is one of our top priorities. So this means that some companies understand the digital transformation is one of the top priorities of the companies. We are all counting on you. So good luck on this summer internship. So again, here it is a funny story. It means that companies usually underestimate, I mean, some of them, I have also read some report about that, underestimate that digital transformation is not an easy task. It's not only to invest in one or two new digital technologies to improve the process of company or what else. It implies a lot of effort of all the organization at a different level of organization. But as you can see from my next slide, the role of people is crucial in the implementation of digital transformation in companies. Before going there, I would like to show you some data about companies. This is a report of McKinsey, if I don't remember well. These are the differences in these activities of integrate customer data sources, share test and learn findings, reallocate digital talent, and defund underperforming initiatives. These are the differences between top performing companies, the blue circle, and the average, all the other respondents. It means that for this key practice in digital transformation, top performance make these activities faster than others. And this could be an explanation of being successful in the digital transformation challenge. In particular, have a look to how often they reallocate talents or defund underperforming projects compared to all the other respondents. It could be months and months of differences between these two key practices in the digital transformation era. Similarly, the same companies, McKinsey, as you can see here, evaluate again differences in the frequency of adopt these practices between top performing companies and all the other respondents. Here there are some key practice for digital transformation, like use multiple sources of customer data to assess their unmet needs, and so to give more information for new product developments, for example, or business leaders that dedicate time to learn about digital technologies. So have a look how often the leaders is less than 1 month. They update their digital knowledge compared to others, and so on. Reallocate digital talent, again, have a look to the difference. It's very huge. Or evaluate portfolio for business to add or divest businesses in the light of digital transformation. So how often they re-evaluate investment opportunities. So this is critical in the digital transformation. And top performer and companies that will be successful in digital transformation do these activities more often. Here there is another survey that for me is very interesting because it's again from McKinsey, and which are the most important evidence from this survey. That is a survey on real data of companies. So more than 8 in 10 respondents, or more than 8 on 10 companies say that their organization have undertaken a digital transformation effort in the past 5 years. So it means that companies are aware that they should digital transform their company. So it means that the topic is very hot, and more or less all the managers are in some way affected by this digital transformation. But one data that maybe shocked me is that there is a very high failure rates. In this sample, 1/3 of organizational transformation were successful, only 1/3. And this data, that is quite low, is even more shocking me in traditional industries like oil and gas, like food and beverage, like automotive, okay? Because success rates fall between 4 and 11%. It means that on 100 digital transformation projects within the companies in traditional industries only in the best scenario, only 11 of these 10 are digital projects that are successful. What does it mean? It means that it is not so easy task, and it means that there are some barriers and challenges to digital transformation. This report highlights which are the best practice that are here, the best practice that improve the likelihood to be successful in the digital transformation era. And as you can see, I would like to show you like later on this. So the first set of best practice is focus on leadership. Is focus on the role of the leader that should be familiar with digital technologies, that also the top management teams should be aware of the advantages and of digital technologies, of which are the new trends in digital trends in their sectors, and the commitment. So it does not enough to say that the leader of an organization say, we are investing in digital transformation, we are counting to digitalize all of operation. We should have the commitment of key people in key roles of the organization, like senior leaders or leaders in the transformation to specific roles, that should be very committed to this process and changes. Because to change an organization is very complicated. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time without having a 100% success. The last point is what many companies are doing, to engage a chief digital officer to support their transformation. Is a person like the chief executive officers, a person in charge and have the responsibilities and the power also to make choices about all the digital transformation aspects of the companies. And it is estimated that companies that engage a strong chief digital officer within the companies are more successful than others. The second is building capabilities for the workforce of the future. Here is very important because it is related to how the society is also requiring and changing, developing talent and skills throughout the organization. Here, I would like to say, but it is written in a subsequent slide, that the role of university and of the school system will be for sure critical and important in developing talent and skills for the future organization. So it is estimated that companies that build capabilities of their workforce are related, these capabilities that will be crucial into the futures will be more successful. This means that sometimes it occurs to redefine the individual roles and responsibilities, to engage a specific role of integrators that are not included nowadays into the companies, but they are fundamental in bridging the gaps between the traditional part of the business and the digital part of the business. One of the comments that offer some of the managers that I used to talk with are that there are people within the organization very good in technology and in digital skills, but they are not able to talk with people about business, about the business side. This is the what I suggest to a lot of my students, to build these capabilities to know about business. So students that are attending business courses or a degree in business are very, very facilitated. At the same time, to try to build some technological and digital skills in order to be able to bridge these potential gaps. And then digital talent management. Nowadays, we are seeing a lot of different digital ways to recruit people, to coach people, to hire people, and to train people thanks to digital tools. Then the third cluster is empowering people to work in a new way, so a new organization of work. And this is particularly evident nowadays that a lot of workers are working from their home because of the COVID-19 problems. So the role of companies and the role of managers is to facilitate cultural and behavioral changing oriented to risk-taking, increased collaboration, and customer centricity. So this means to reinforce new behavior and ways of working. It means to also to change and to facilitate new ways of working, empowering workers, encourage workers to employ and employees to experiment, and encourage employees to collaborate with others. And this is completely different from what happened into the past. Another key tool is, another key success factor is to give day-to-day tools and digital upgrade. Here is more, this is one point that is more focused on technology. And the fifth one is frequent communication via traditional and digital methods. So communication is a key aspect in being successful in digital transformation initiative. So as you can see, at least 4 out of 5 of these cluster of categories of factors are heavily related to people. So the role of people in the digital transformation becomes and is still very, very important. We will never be, at least in my view, substituted completely by the machines. We will be able to coexist and to take the best from the machines in general, but we have to focus our attention on leadership, new capabilities, a new way of work, a new way of communication. So this is what I think that is also supported in some way from the data about the role of people in the digital transformation. So I have then a lot of other slides, but that are mainly focused on this kind of changes. So for example, from planning, controlling, and executing, so a way of work, to experimentation and scale up as a startup, the dimension of the innovation. So from hierarchical way to the use of more decentralized process, like decentralization of decision-making, the use of delegation, from a complexity management to, this is a critical startup approach. Keep things simple. Simple way to do things through the technologies, and from corporate need to be guided that ecosystem. So a shift from a corporate view, from an ecosystem view, so call a cultural opening, we call open innovation. So innovate with the ecosystem and through the ecosystems, and try to be leader not only of your organization, but of the whole ecosystem. So I have other slides, but I think we don't have time to look at all of them. I would like to finish my presentation with a potential definition. This is a definition that is mainly oriented to a company. So if you asked me what is digital transformation for the society, is something different. But one potential good definition for a company is from Salesforce, that is an incorporation, American cloud-based software company in San Francisco. Digital transformation is the process of using digital technologies to create new or modify existing business processes, business culture, customer experiences, to meet the changing business and market requirements, to meet the changes that is happening inside and outside the company. So I have finished at least my presentation. I also would like to have some comments or some questions if you cannot talk to propose some topic of discussion, just to share some ideas and knowledge about digital transformation, and if you like this topic or not. Elena, maybe you can ask also on the other. You can see if there are some questions on Facebook, or I don't know. Let me know.
Yeah, I will let you know. There is just one thanks so far on Facebook.
Okay.
No questions.
You are too shy, and this is what I would like to stimulate when I come to Russia, and I usually try to engage students. I know that is a little bit more difficult because online, because there are some other problems. For example, I cannot see your face, and for me, it's a problem also to evaluate if you are understanding or not, if it is everything clear or not. So, but my suggestion for the futures is to be able to engage with others through digital tools. This is one of the key success factors also for the futures in your job. I have a question. How do we associate digital technologies with digital economy? This is a very, very interesting question. So what I can say is that the digital economy is already some years that we talk about digital economy, and mainly we talked about digital economy because of the emergence of these new digital technologies. So without these digital technologies, we cannot talk about a new digital economy. Of course, there are a multiple potential opportunities in different fields. For example, what about the blockchain? So the technologies that is beyond the emergence of Bitcoin, of all the other cryptocurrencies. This is, I mean, the technology is the mean. Then there should be the people that build up and construct value around the digital technology. So the digital technology in this case is the blockchain. The blockchain could be used in different industry, in different sector, in different ways, but to solve some problems, to meet new customer needs. Okay, so the people influence the way the technology will be adopted, and so consequently influence the emergence of a particular kind of digital economy. So I don't know, in 20 years, maybe we will have a digital economy that will be based completely on cryptocurrency. I don't know. I don't have the crystal balls. But this is the way that people decide to push and to exploit technologies into the economy, into the society. I hope to answer effectively to this question. I have another question by Alexander. How do you see digital economy in its final stage, like ideal digital economy? I can see your focus on digital economy. I mean, I have different experience in different parts of the world, and I see that there are countries that are going very, very fast towards the development of the digital economy. But again, within the same country, I see different kind of behaviors. For example, in Russia, I noted that you are very, very, you can easily pay everything with your smartphone. In Italy, we don't have this kind of behavior. So probably the digital economy of Italy will be different from the digital economy of Russia. I do not see a unified worldwide digital economy. I think that the cultural differences will be maintained, will persist. And so each country will develop each version of digital economy, because again, culture, history, behaviors that are very, very different across the world, and they change very, very fastly. Very, very slowly. So I do not see an ideal digital economy. I see a digital economy that will be developed in relation to the country priorities, to the country behaviors and cultural aspects. This is what I think. Noida, I think it's the name. How do, thank you for the question, Alexander. Noida wrote, how do we build a digital sales team? Okay, I don't understand very in easy way the question. I mean, how do we build? It means the kind of skills required, the kind of people, because if we are talking about the kind of people, it depends. A digital sales team have a very specific objective. If we are talking, for example, of an innovation team, I will say heterogeneity of people, interdisciplinary of people could be very, very important. But for a digital sales team, I think that the relation with the clients, so the ability to influence the decision of the client, that is typical for salespeople, is something that will never disappear. It is one of the soft skills that will be still very important, because there will be always a consumers that should be influenced or should be in some way attracted and satisfied by a company. So a salesperson should develop, as in the past, this kind of soft skills, relational skills, the ability to again influence the decision of the customer. At the same time, if we are talking about digital sales teams, they have to properly manage the digital tools. But in the sales activities, I see that the rate of speed is in some sectors quite slow. because in particular in traditional sectors, I see that there is still a need to a physical interaction. Like, I don't know, an intermediary in a mature industry would like always to have this kind of relationship based on trust, based on how is developed the relationship between the company and the clients. Of course, digital tools could be of help, for example, to reduce this yearly relationship between the customer and the clients. For example, if a salesperson are going to the customers, I don't know, 2 times per month, this could be reduced because you can develop a trusted relationship at the beginning and then reduce the time that you have the physical contact with the consumer or with the company, and can save time. So the ability is to use the digital tools like Zoom or this platform to make a meeting. Maybe the data analytics service, so to implement the ability to have in real time data that could be shared with the customers or with the partners, with the other companies. This could be ideally very good. I don't know if, these are the skills and the kind of skills requested by people in the sales work. Are you satisfied with the with the answer? Do you have some other questions? I tried to start my intervention with talking about digital transformation and the society and the role of people, and then I would like to show within the companies which are the key roles of people in the digital transformation, because too many people think that in order to be successful, too many people think in order to be successful in digital transformation, that only to implement this digital technology within the company is enough. And this is completely an error from the point of view of the management. So the role of people, both in the society and as employees of a company or a public organization, is still very important and will be very important in the future. Even sometimes we watch some catastrophic movies where artificial intelligence will overcome the human brain and people. But these are movies, at least for now. Do you know Black Mirror or other TV series? Maybe Elena, you know Black Mirror for sure. Other TV series or movies that address in some way some digital technologies and the effect on the society of the future. Sometimes I'm scared about it, but at least I really like this kind of entertainment that for now is entertainment. Okay.
Okay, if there are no more questions, then thank you very much everyone for participating, and thank you first and foremost Dr. Ferraris for the lecture on such an interesting topic.
Thank you, Lena, for the invitation. Thank you for the Graduate School of Economics and Management. And I really hope to have the possibility to come to Russia again soon.
We hope so too, as soon as the borders are open.
Be safe.
Okay. And we will see you in 2 days at our next lecture by Elizaveta Galausova on race and cultural diversity. Don't miss.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Elena.